we have. And therefore, those are dissimilar markets. And the reason we've announced the two today, because we have now firm contracts with them and we've started onboarding them, but they're dissimilar. Now, the same thing is applying. So whether it is, in any part of the world, this could extend.
Yeah, and on the telco grade cloud.
And Africa is totally different from India.
Absolutely.
Because it's a little bit behind in terms of its data penetration and maturity of digital services. So this can go anywhere. This is really about being more efficient at your core, doing things in a way that's more cost efficient and at the same time drives additional growth.
Right. And on the telco cloud, the DPDP Act, which you mentioned, does not have a hard localization mandate,
no,
right?
But
so are you looking forward to any supply side demand side interventions?
Let that decision be taken by the regulators.
But I think, agnostic of that decision, you are still confident that this is a product that will find.
For certain types of segments and customers, it would be deeply relevant. Right. So many regulated entities would like, for example, in our case, we cannot put a lot of the data that we have outside on the public cloud. It's the same for many banks and insurance companies and financial services. But at the same time, there are others who can. The question then is, what is your proposition to get that pool as well? And I think that there are certain specific total cost of ownership led propositions coupled with the bundling in of the network and the data centers and all of that I think makes us offer a compelling position in the marketplace.
Just one last thing, sir. Are you looking to open any new locations for Nextra beyond Delhi and Chennai?
Well, Nextra is currently in Delhi. It's in Chennai. It's got very large facilities in the West, in Bombay and in other parts of the West. It's also in the East in Calcutta. It's got Bangalore. We are in the process of building out Hyderabad. We've got Calcutta. So Nextra serves everyone. But Nextra is also the data center where our cloud is hosted.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. Rajasvi Gupta from Financial Express. Since you gave us the segue that Airtel is moving towards a very different dynamic, maybe somewhere towards cloud computing and towards artificial intelligence, proper segue, since even Xtelify is an AI-powered software platform. And with the recent bundling with Perplexity, so are we looking forward to Airtel maybe owning an LLM or something of that sort in the near future, given
the past dynamic? I don't think we've quite crossed that point. I think the amounts of investments that are going on around the world on LLMs are astronomical. And I think we would much rather use the public LLMs that are already there, combine that with small language models, which are relevant for the kind of business that we run, and make it much sharper. We're already beginning to do things like that. So some of the stuff that we talked about on the platforms, we are now trying to inject AI at the very heart of the platforms to make sure that the roadmaps over the next 12 months and 24 months is more AI ready. So that I think is something that we will do. But if you're asking us the question whether we are going to invest in our own large language models, the answer is unlikely.
Hi, sir. This is Sahir. First table to us.
Yeah.
Hi. Jatin Gruber from Mint. Just wanted to know, this sovereign cloud concept is not new. I think in the country, there are many players who are doing it. So what makes Airtel's offering stand out from others? I think your competitor also has that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't comment on our competitors. I think what I would say is that there's an intangible quality about Airtel which is important, which is, I think, given our deep relationships with the top customers of the country, enterprise customers, there is a degree of comfort and trust in the Airtel brand. I think that's the first thing that I would say. The second is, it is telco grade. So to that extent, it's really reliable because all of the telco applications run on it. And remember, when you compare an IT application with a telco application, you expect more resilience. You expect more reliability. So that's I think for mission critical applications, it's a very powerful advantage to have. The third thing I would say is that combining the network, and this is not a small thing, I just sort of brushed over it. The network combined with the cloud is a very strong value proposition because that's what enables us to reduce the total cost of ownership. If you were to take the network separately and the cloud separately, your cost of ownership jumps up. And the reason we are able to save 30 to 40% of cost for people moving their workloads to us is simply because of the capacity to bundle these two disparate things and bring it together, which is in any case mission critical for any cloud application. So I think those are the things. Of course, it's sovereign, which is an addition to the additional benefit for many regulated entities. And, I have met customers, and I'll give you one example of a customer. I'm not going to name the customer, but the customer said to me, I want to talk to somebody who I can see across the table. And if I can pick up the phone and speak to you and say, I've got a problem here, come and sort it out. That's a big advantage that customers have. We are in India. We're serving customers in India, and we're passionate about, serving them well in the country. So I think those are some of the intangible qualities in addition to the cost advantage and the reliability advantage.
And this 40% reduction in TCO which you're talking about, how that number is derived? Like, what's the benchmark for this maybe?
Yeah, I think, one of the tools that we have developed is what's called a cloud analyzer. So if you're a company, and we've demonstrated that to our customers, in fact, we're in the process of demonstrating that to several customers. So if you're a customer and you give us a bill, right? And these bills can run into 100 pages, by the way. They're very complicated bills. You just give it to us and you just upload it as a PDF file. We will give you what is your spend, how is that spend being aggregated in a pie chart, which could be just sort of 4 or 5 dimensions, and say, what is it likely to be if you're on Airtel Cloud? That is seen as a very powerful, and by the way, customers charge for it. We are offering this free of cost right now, simply because we want customers to experience it and say, where is the saving that you... So we want to bring this alive in a very tangible way to our customers, and that's what we've done in the roundtables that we've already conducted.
And also, can you talk about the investments gone into Xtelify at the moment?
Well, over the last 5-6 years, all our investments have gone into Xtelify. So all our digital platforms, all our people costs, all our digital applications, even the cloud investments that we make. Cloud needs large investments as you keep going forward. Of course, it's modular, because as you get growth, you can keep investing. Much like our network, our radio investments are also modular. So, capital is not a constraint, whatever is required. We've been putting significant sums of money over the course of the last few years.
And one last question is this technology, the sovereign cloud, is Airtel's own technology? We've partnered with maybe a Google or somebody?
No, this is, we have orchestrated it ourselves. We've been using this, we've been doing it ourselves. Of course, we partner with companies. So like, for example, runs on Dell machines. Because that's what you need a server to run these things. We don't have our own servers. We use Dell servers. At the same time, you need security applications. So you'll buy security from the best of breed people, and so on and so forth. So we put together a whole bunch of software and partners and orchestrated this ourselves, but this is our own cloud. We're not averse to partnering with others for specific areas where a partner can add value. We're not averse to that. Somebody was asking about Perplexity. Our philosophy is that we do build ourselves, but at the same time, we are delighted to work with partners. So we'll do both. So Perplexity, we don't want to build our LLM, but Perplexity has done it, and we partnered with them. So that, I think, combination is what we bring. Where we can add value, we do it on our own. Where we think somebody else can add value better, we will build up. I'll give you an example of the software platforms. We have over 120 open source softwares that are working off those platforms, which we are now extended to Singtel and Globe, which are, by the way, completely orchestrated by our own engineers. They're open source. They don't have licensing costs. But somebody needs to orchestrate it. And you cannot discount how complex that is to orchestrate for a scale like the way we operate at.
Hi, Gopal. Danish from Money Control here.
Yeah, hi, Danish.
Hi. Last year, Airtel partnered with NVIDIA to source Gaudi 3
Sorry,
GPU,
with whom?
with Intel for their Gaudi 3 chipset.
Yeah.
And earlier this year, the company said the company will not be a first mover player in the GPU as a service space. Have you been working on the strategy, or have you finalized? How is it
No,
panning
not yet.
out?
We're not yet announced anything or entering anything on the GPU side yet.
But do you think that in the midterm, you will have a play in the GPU space?
Well, I think that that world is moving so rapidly that we don't, and let me step back. I think the growth of AI for enterprises, right, over a period of time will obviously change the way enterprises work. But how that is going to exactly play out is still unclear to most companies. Now, in our case, as I mentioned, we've tried to inject this right at the platforms. We've tried to find ways to differentiate ourselves, like spam is a great example. But the fact is that unless these become more real, right, for enterprises, some of that is still a moonshot for us from our perspective. Now, it's not a moonshot for the companies that are making those investments, but it's a moonshot for us. Second is that you're seeing a dramatic improvement in the quality of the chipsets and the processing power of the chipsets and the cost of the chipset, which is declining every year. So for all of those reasons, we are waiting and watching. We have not taken any decision, but certainly we're not in it right now.
But are you using GPUs internally for certain
that we do. That we do for our own small language models and some of our AI capabilities. Yeah.
Hi, Gopal. Pratap from CapTable. A few things. So this, the offerings that you have showed us, is this, so essentially this is just trying to understand, this is SaaS.
Yeah.
Like these are like vertical applications for work, serve, data engine.
Yeah.
So essentially these are SaaS, which will be part of this whole sovereign cloud offerings.
SaaS can also go on to other clouds. So let's say, for example, theoretically, if you're in Singapore and they decide to be, let's say, on Google, I don't know which cloud they're using, by the way, then that SaaS application will be on Google. On the other hand, if they have their own private cloud, on their own Singapore cloud, can also go onto that cloud. So this can be ported into any cloud. These are SaaS applications, as you rightly said. And then underlying that, you need a cloud, you need a cloud stack. That cloud stack in India is Airtel Cloud for Indian customers. But the SaaS side is a global play.
Got it. And so because you have been working on this for some time, so has there been any sort of a cost advantages for Airtel itself?
Yeah.
When you have kind of what you said about data engine, that that's one place where you that's a secret sauce that you have.
Yeah.
So put together everything, has there been sort of a cost optimization saving?
Well, I'll give you a piece of statistic. And I mentioned that earlier, if you look at our costs, our technology costs, right, as a percentage of revenue, that is in very, very low single digits. It's sub 2%, right, as a percentage of revenue. If you compare that with most operators around the world, they vary between 6 to 12%. So the fact is that, we have done something here which has been able to drive a tremendous level of efficiency. And by the way, you must also understand, we're talking about 360 million customers. It's not a small country. We're talking about 250 petabytes of data. So at that scale, to drive that cost down to a bone and yet be able to build a resilient infrastructure, drive industry-beating ARPUs, drive greater personalization, greater bundling across different lines of business. That's really what, most companies, when you talk to them, they look at it and say, we want to hear more.
Got it. Just one last bit, that the data center, as one of my colleagues asked this question, that will Nextra also be housed under this? And overall,
Nextra is a separate company.
Will be a separate company. And where does this sit? I mean, will this be under Airtel Business?
It's under Bharti Airtel.
Okay.
As a legal entity, it's under Bharti Airtel.
And within Airtel, this will be a part of Airtel Business?
It gets consolidated within Airtel Business, yes.
Thank you.
Hi. Here. Ajit Jha from UNI. I just wanted to know, you said that it will be free of cost right now. So when do you plan to start charging for this, and what kind of revenue?
Charging for what?
Charging for this cloud service.
No, cloud we will sell. We're not going to.
Okay.
I only said the cloud analyzer we will offer free of cost in order for them to analyze this terminology in the cloud parlance is called FinOps, financial operations, where basically you take a bill, you look at the bill, you break it down through the model that we have. Customer obviously many times don't understand the bill because it's 100 pages of complex stuff. I mean, you should see one of the cloud bills and then you will be surprised. And we put it into you just convert into any PDF file, upload it, and it'll tell you exactly what your spend is and what you could potentially save. That capability we've offered free of cost.
So
not the cloud. No.
It will be chargeable in the future. So what kind of, will it be chargeable in the future?
Which? The FinOps?
In this service, FinOps.
Cloud analyzer is free.
Okay. And what kind of, then there is no question of revenue, right?
No. I'm sorry, you're confused. The cloud analyzer is free, but if you're selling the cloud, that will be fully chargeable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of revenue target is for that?
You already asked the question, I answered it. I'm not putting a revenue target right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. Firstly, congratulations on the launch of Xtelify. A couple of questions. I'm laboring on the same point because this is clearly a commercial venture for you. Can you give us some clarity? I know you're not sharing numbers, but some clarity in terms of maybe 5 years down the line, what is the kind of revenue split that you'll want to look at between cloud and telecom operations?
I really can't give you a number on that. I think, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves right now. I think we have, today sort of marks a seminal point in the fact that we've actually made this baby step, right? And this baby step is backed by real work that's happening on the ground, not just in our own environment, but also in what other companies are seeing the value of. And I think if this baby step works out, this will be obviously, Airtel will not launch anything to be a small business. So it will be a sizable business. And that, if it were not a sizable business, then it would be a lot of effort down the drain. So it has to be sizable.
We have time for one more question, I guess.
I just have one more question, sir. Just wanted to follow up. When you're looking at the issues of building capacity going forward, there's currently a cap in India at 50,000 GPUs from the US. Is that something that you think will come in the way if you look at further expansion?
Don't know. I don't think I'll be able to even answer that question. I was not aware of this, and I don't think it's relevant for us because we are not in that business. Whatever GPUs we need for our own needs in our cloud environment as well, that's not a problem. We can offer it to customers.
Fair enough, sir. Thank you.
Hi, this is
I
Sandeep
think
Ovey
just
from
one
the
last
mobile
question and then
yeah.
stop. Yeah.
So if we look like most of the solutions, not most of them, all of them are for the enterprise thing. But if we look at the consumer side of the things, the end consumers, one of the data that pointed out almost 67% of the consumers are now using cloud services for storing their data, number one, for accessing softwares, even like Microsoft 360 and all those stuff. Any plan for getting the services for the consumer also as of now?
No, not. I think, the model on charging for storage on the cloud is right now, most of it is being given away free. And the price that people charge is a freemium model, which is beyond a certain need. We have no intentions of right now getting into that space. No.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think
Thank you.
we'll do a quick bite in case television channel wants to have a quick bite here. We can have it on the stage.